What's up? Welcome to this Up to Club channel. So today I wanted to show you guys my Civic. Basically talk about why I chose Civic and what my plans are with this, and what I have done so far. I haven't been documenting it on camera, so I just have a lot of photos. So I'll be showing a lot of the photos instead of video. After selling the Toyota Yaris, I still miss having like a front-wheel drive car that I can daily, something reliable and not too expensive. And then also, you know, being able to be a track-friendly car. I bought this 1996 Honda Civic. It is a CX model, so no sway bar, drum brakes, just the basic, no sunroof, which I like, and it was slightly modified when I bought it. The guy that I bought it from, he I think had, you know, several different Civics, and he wanted to get rid of this one. So I wasn't a big fan of red color, but I grew to really like it. And you know, it's not the championship white, but you know, I also at the same time I don't want to paint something different color, so I kept it, you know, this color. First was cleaning the car, cleaning the overall condition of the car. You know, I wanted to paint it initially, but I didn't want to spend too much money on it. But I ended up painting it. It's the same color, I think Roma red. You know, it's the original color for this year. I think it comes in Roma, or I forgot what the other one is, but a few things here and there. But it was overall fairly clean when I got it. It was missing the carpet, but the seller had, you know, all the panels which I wanted. You know, all the, you know, the quarter panel, the seat, the trunk, floor, carpet, whatnot, because I'm gonna keep it daily driving as well, a daily driver as well. The front bumper had it was a stock bumper with some kind of, you know, lip, but it was like all broken, so I knew I wanted to change that first. So I wanted to be, you know, somewhat clean, so I can drive around every day and not feel like a high school kid again. Nothing wrong with that, but a little older now. So came with B20 with, you know, GSR chans. Came with AC, which was one of the biggest thing I was looking for. So yeah, I think, you know, going to the track and back, you gotta have AC, unless it's a, you know, full out track car, which, you know, needs trailer and all that. So I wanted to keep the AC. Yeah, when I first bought it, so it was missing the wing here. So I just went on OfferUp, just found whatever that was cheap. This wing was all faded too, the clear coat. But you know, it's a spoon wrap. You know, it looks decent. It also had a stock exhaust when I bought the car. It was nice and quiet, but a little bit restrictive, so I changed that out to whatever cheap tubing, and then someone was selling a muffler, just a Megan muffler. So I had Ted welded it up, and it's fairly quiet for what it is. I want it a little bit quieter, but I think it's okay for now. So engine wise, wanted it reliable. Obviously, if you take it to the track, you see a lot of parts see a lot of stress, and then just ruins the whole day. You make the trip out there, it's not close, it's like a 2-hour drive, and you have to deal with all that kind of stuff. It's not fun. Came with the DC header as well, so that was pretty nice. In the engine bay, what I have done is I changed out the radiator. It's old school, or I think it's an older CNR with the fan behind it. It's a pretty decent sized fan, spell fan. And yeah, this car had like a little bit of idling issue, so I think that's somewhat common. IAC, the intake air control valve, was plugged by one of the previous owner, and I unplugged it, set the idle to where it should be, and it's a lot better now. I changed the ignition coil and the control module, and the spark plug. Obviously, those are items that you want to go over, even if it's a street car. I mean, that's something cheap and easy to do, so might as well. It's an older car. So in transmission, so after the first track day, I think the weakness was it was an open diff. So after the first track day, I knew I wanted an LSD, but I think the Type R is a popular upgrade item. Unfortunately, those things are picking up in price, and also I think I knew I wanted a mechanical one, so which mechanical clutch type. So the Type R is a helical, but I added a Mfactory, not the helical version, but I added the Clutchmax LSD. It's a one-way with the 80% lockout brake. Also, one of the things that I noticed when I bought the car was it had a lot of play and shifting mechanism. It's my first Honda, so it's my first Honda, but I knew, driving from my friends' cars before, I knew that there was something going on. So yeah, I bought a aftermarket shift linkage kit. Basically what it does is it gets rid of all the stock pins, and then it replaces with bolts and nut, so you can tighten it and get rid of some of the slop. But what had happened was one of the previous owner, which I assume did the swap, took out the pin, and maybe he lost it or something, and he replaced it with a bolt and a nut, and obviously the bolt isn't perfect size to the hole, so you get a lot of slop. So luckily the innovative kit came with the pin, so put the pin in, and then the play is much better now. So the next thing I want to talk about is where I spent majority of time and money, basically. You know, and also it happens to be my favorite parts of the car. I want to talk about suspension and chassis in general. You know, a lot of people think it's, if you go out to the track, you know, fast engines, you'll be faster, but in reality it's a total balance, right? You have, let's say, you know, you have 500 horsepower with, you know, stock suspension. Obviously it won't handle that kind of abuse or that kind of torque. I mean, you could, but driving it wouldn't be as comfortable. So the single most important thing on a car, I think, is the shocks and springs. So I didn't really want to cheap out on that aspect. This car came with a Skunk 2 Pro S2 or whatever it's called, the non-adjustable. I think the spring rates were 6 and 6 or 8 and 8 or something like that. Suspension, the spring rates, I think determines a lot of behavior of the car. This should work pretty well. This is a coilover from Ohlins. Well, it's Ohlins road and track equivalent. So they don't, unfortunately, they don't import it to the States, but I think it's mainly sold in Japan. So I picked one up. Ohlins, you know, they come with 12 kg in the front and then 6 in the rear. So I'll make sure to review how the spring rates feel on the Civic. Also, yeah, so the car, if you want to go fast, I think it all comes down to the how much confidence you have in a car. Like when you drive, if the car does something that you didn't expect, then obviously, you know, that's a lap time loss. So you want it basically you want to dial in the suspension so that it's actually comfortable for you to drive. Like even on the street, you know, even with the heavy spring rates, the car should handle fairly comfortably on the street. To go over the front suspension, I have PCI front lower control arm and PCI compliance bearing. I think this is a version 2. I think the version 1 was steel, but version 2 is CNC'd aluminum. It looks like really high quality, you know, stuff. I'm new to PCI, but I'm starting to really like their product. The front tie rod and end was replaced. Actually, the tie rod ends I bought from Rock Auto for this particular car, and which happened to be too long actually, so I couldn't align it right. If anybody knows why that is, please leave a comment below. I was thinking maybe, you know, it shared tie rod ends with another car, and it just happens to be wrong, or I don't know. Yeah, so tie rod ends are what came with the car. Still, I need to replace that, or maybe perhaps PCI. It came with the Godspeed upper controller. Future plans for the car is to keep it, you know, simple, clean. Obviously, I do have a vtec head out of a V16 that needs to be rebuilt. You know, I want to try to do sub 2 before putting on the head, and maybe do a comparison afterwards. I really want a roll bar, not a crazy roll cage, but just the rear section to mount the harness and, you know, keep it safe. Obviously, safety is number one. I plan on doing a welded on roll bar, not the bolt on type that Auto Power makes. I know a lot of you guys run it, but honestly, I don't really like the fitment, like how far it's away from the B pillar and the roof. So yeah, hopefully Ted is watching, and Ted will help me do the roll bar. Also wanted to do a wiring, all new engine wiring for the car. Nothing wrong with the engine harness in there right now, but obviously they're old, and you know the connectors have been taken out and put back in so many times, and you know it's just I just don't feel really confident on the older harness, and you know who knows who worked on it in the past, and you know just I saw some questionable wire-to-wire connection, so I wanted to kind of get rid of the wiring and redo it fresh. Also, the engine mounts currently has innovative on the driver side, I think the OEM on the passenger side, and something else in the back. So I want to try to match all those three, so that, you know, all those companies, I mean, whichever one you choose, I'm pretty sure, you know, most of them are good, but they obviously would have different you know, different rating polyurethane. So I wanted to kind of match all the three the same. Yeah, and just play around with the suspension. Yeah, but mostly I think it's finished. I want to say, you know, from now on it's going to be driving mostly and having fun. So I'll keep you guys posted. That was a kind of a quick breakdown of this car. The whole goal here is to do sub 2 minute at Buttonwillow, Chokbala. So last time I was out there, you guys can watch the video on my channel, but last time I was out there, I think I did a 204 or something. I think at the time it needed better brakes, LSD, and yeah, I think that was it. Or actually sway bar, because I didn't have the stock CX doesn't have a sway bar, so it was kind of acting really kind of weird at the limit. You know, it would understeer, it would oversteer. So trying to, you know, get rid of that this time or next time around. I think the car should do closer to sub 2 time, but let's find out. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below, or any, you know, comments would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I plan on, you know, shooting not only my car, but you know, there's a lot of enthusiasts, you know, track enthusiasts out there that have really cool cars. So I want to go around and you know, show you a lot of those cars in the future. So please subscribe, please follow the channel, and you know, thank you for watching.